Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Sarah and today I'm going to be doing a week ahead reading for the 1st of April until the 7th of April. So looking at what's coming up, themes that we're going to be seeing, talking a little bit about the astrology of this week as well, and doing a card reading on that basis. So we'll be looking at what the challenges might be, what the guidance is around it, and seeing what comes through. So I've already drawn the cards, but before I begin with that, I think it's very worth mentioning that today we've got a Mercury is going into retrograde. Now, I don't like to think of Mercury retrograde as being a bad thing because I always think that everything is always happening for us and that it is just what it is. Like, I think people get really like, oh no, it's all terrible. And yes, there might be challenges. Yes, there could be difficulties. But ultimately, I think it's so important that we remember, like, this is happening for us and not to us. So I think it's really worth mentioning Mercury retrograde happening today. It's happening in the sign of Aries, and next week we've got a solar eclipse in Aries. So basically, it feels like there's a lot of stuff happening in Aries at the moment. We're in Aries season, solar eclipse in Aries. We've also got Venus moving into Aries later on this week. There's quite a lot of Venus stuff going on too. So there's a bit of a mixed thing. So I think something that might be really worth looking at is in your own chart where Aries sits, so what house it sits in. So for instance, if you were Aries rising, it would be in your first house. If you were Taurus rising, it would be in your 12th house, etc. Obviously, I can't do a video on how it's going to manifest for each and every person, but whichever house Aries is sitting in is maybe where we're going to get a light shone on. So that whenever we have a Mercury retrograde, I always think it's about reviewing, reassessing, reevaluating, having a thorough edit in that area. So I think it gets a bad rap because people often feel like, oh, like that there's going to be challenges there. But the reason that we're getting this review and the reason that we're getting this redo, it's all the re words when it comes to Mercury retrograde, is because there's something there that's not right. There's something there that needs looking at. Now, something else that's worth mentioning is that with it being in Aries, Aries is a very fiery sign. It's the first sign of the zodiac, so it's very like, let's go, like it's the child of the zodiac, so it's like quite quick to action without really thinking about consequences. And the reason I say this is because with it being Mercury retrograde, Mercury being the ruler of communication, and when it's retrograde, things can get a little bit foggy. And then with this Aries as well, people might be quite impulsive, people might be quite sort of quick to speak without thinking, and I think it's just worth being really mindful of that this week and for the next few weeks, because it's going to be for the next 3 weeks that we have this retrograde. So there's a reason I'm saying all this. I feel like it very much relates to the cards that we've got here in terms of like the energies of this week and what to sort of look for. So I'm going to start with that now. So first of all, we've got, in terms of general energies and themes coming up, we've got 5 of Swords, defeat. Okay. And then we've got Queen of Cups. And we've got the Chariot. So what I'm really seeing here in terms of like the themes is that there could be some feelings of frustration here. It feels like things want to move forward, or maybe you really want to move forward with something, but there might be some things that are delaying or setting back, which is very much what Mercury retrograde does. And I think that can be, especially with it being in Aries, it's like, no, I want it now. Like, it can be quite an impatient sign. So we've got this maybe like feelings of defeat here with the 5 of Swords. But I would say that this is very much like swords to me always speaks of like a mindset that we have, and it's about shifting our perspective and like realizing like, oh, it's like it's okay to slow down. Then we've also got here the Chariot, which again like speaks to me of very much like moving forward, having willpower, determination, and drive. But with this feeling of defeat, there could be some sort of conflicting kind of feelings here of like wanting to go forward and forge ahead, but feeling a bit like pulled back. Like, yeah, like really the image I'm getting is very much like, I want to go, but then like I'm getting these weird technical glitches and like things just feel like they're taking longer than usual. So it could be, yeah, it could be a little bit challenging here. But then we've also got the Queen of Cups, which is really lovely. I really like this card. It's very sort of feminine. It's got lots of blues, lots of greens. It's very Venusian, which again, like we've got lots of Venus coming in this week, sorry. And I think there's really something about stepping into like a kind of Venus energy. And even though Queen of Cups isn't specifically Venus, like it just really gives me that kind of energy. It's also a bit High Priestess sort of energy as well to me. So it's very like going inward and like appreciating the beauty that's around you. We've got Venus and Neptune, I think, coming conjoining with Neptune on Wednesday. So there's something here about like really appreciating the beauty, getting lost in daydreams, because Neptune's very like dreamy and like likes to get lost and escape. It's like ruled by Pisces, or Pisces is ruled by Neptune, I should say. So think of very like, and then combined with Venus, it's like really sort of like getting swept up and away and just allowing yourself to like really go into this like dream like sort of state and just enjoying like beauty and creating beauty where you go, and just kind of getting into that Venusian energy. And this has been coming up so much in readings that I've been doing recently, like the Empress keeps showing up and it's very Venus. So yeah, that feels to me like really positive. So again, I don't want it to be all like, oh no, Mercury retrograde, it's going to be terrible. I'm like, yeah, but there's other stuff going on too, and I think it's going to be good. So coming on to the next card. So the question I asked the cards was, what are the potential challenges that we might have this week? And we've got 5 of Cups, disappointment. So again, this kind of echoes a little bit that feeling here around defeat, like things just feeling a bit like there is a bit of a heaviness potentially this week. This is a Mars in Scorpio card. So you've got Mars here, Scorpio there, and yeah, Mars, like just again this feeling of like wanting to forge ahead, but like it, and Scorpio is also about like not like the shadow side of Scorpio can be like feeling like you trusted somebody but then like they let you down. Like Scorpio has a really hard time trusting, like that's one of its challenges. So there might be some feelings here of like maybe putting trust in somebody and somebody potentially letting you down. Like that could be one manifestation of it, or just generally feelings of like, yeah, just things being a bit, yeah, just disappointing in some way. So that could be a challenge that we're facing this week. But then I asked, what's the best part? And we've got the adjustment card here. So this card is ruled by Libra. We've got the Libra scales here, and as you can see, there's the scales on the image there. And it's all about creating balance. So we could be really looking at how to bring balance in this week. And for me, it feels like it's very much in the realm of like well-being and health, and like bringing balance back into our nervous systems, and like healing and recalibrating again. Like this Mercury retrograde like could be very much for some of you watching about recalibrating your own nervous system and health habits and bringing back some balance. So you might see within all of this, like actually things are starting to kind of like, you know what, that's not really working, and I'm going to bring this in, and like this is going to really help us to sort of move forward. And then that's really supported by this card here. The question I asked was, what is the guidance for the week ahead? And here we've got the Ace of Cups. So to me, Ace of Cups really speaks of, I mean, actually the first thing that came to my mind is fertility, and because the Ace of Cups is always about like the feminine. So you've got the Ace of Wands, which is more masculine, and then you've got Ace of Cups, which is feminine. So it's like, if you look at the image, it's lots of water, it's a cup, it's a vessel, it's receiving. It's very much about like, and we've just come into April, so it's all about this new things, new life. Like we've just had Easter, which is again is about fertility. The eggs of Easter was about representing fertility. That was actually why we have Easter eggs. So there's something here about like and because it's a guidance question, it feels like prioritizing your own health and prioritizing your own well-being, and again, and bringing more balance back into things. So there's a real need like to step away from things and just kind of sort ourselves out and go back to basics. It feels like there's like a kind of, we need to get things simple and back in order again. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull a couple of oracle cards just to see what's coming up in terms of some more guidance for us. And I'm going to use the Moonology Manifestation Oracle cards by Yasmin Boland. Okay, so what are the guidance for this week ahead, please? Oh gosh. 3 cards came out there. I'm going to put them back. I feel that's a bit too many. Okay, let's put them back. See if one comes back out again. Who knows? Okay, one more card. Oh, jumpy. One more card, please. How to navigate these energies. Yeah, that did come out before. Okay. So first card we've got, clear your mind. So yeah, there's something here about like, again, it's really reinforcing this idea of like, this need to just go back to basics and like strip everything back and just keep it really simple. And I feel like as well there's something here like the Queen of Cups is like relating to this as well in terms of a theme this week of just like allowing yourself to go into more of that like dreamlike state and just step away, like just stepping back, stepping away, dreaming, having just like enjoying this time. It doesn't all have to be heavy and difficult. Like, yes, there might be some challenges, but there's something here about just like do what you need to do to clear your mind. This is a card ruled by Gemini, and Gemini is really classic, like its shadow side is about overthinking and like just getting too in their head and that being like quite sort of heavy. So maybe like taking more walks, doing more meditation, doing more sort of practices that really help you get back to your center and like coming back to your like inner peace. And then we've got full moon in Capricorn, take a reality check. So for me, this feels more like the energy I'm really getting from it is very much like things are not so bad. Like it's taking a reality check in terms of like you might think things are like really not going well, but they actually are. And I feel like, let's see if there's more clarification for that card. There is some more wants to come through. Why is that card here, please? Yeah. Take a reality check. Assess the situation. Yeah. So again, it feels like the same thing to me of just saying like, step back, reassess, reevaluate. Don't take too much action. I'm not seeing an awful lot of action in this week. I think there's definitely like this need to sort of like really take care of ourselves and our well-being first. Like self-care is going to be really important this week. especially with Ace of Cups. Like Ace of Cups to me definitely speaks of self-care. And our emotional world's taking care of our emotional well-being. So before, yeah, and like assess the situation. It's like before you jump in and ahead, like with this kind of all this Aries energy and like fire and go ahead, like take a step back, don't jump ahead, think what you before you speak. And that really feels like the energy, like think before you speak, don't take action. Like Aries just wants to go, and it's like, no, like we're in retrograde, step back, don't forge ahead too much right now. We're still in the very early stages of spring as well, so it feels like even though you can, like Aries wants to go, it's like because we've got this retrograde and because we've got this solar eclipse, it's like it's not, doesn't feel like quite that go yet. Cool. Okay, so I think that is everything for this week ahead. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this and you would like to see more of this kind of content, please feel free to subscribe. You can see more content that's going to be coming up. If you like this video, like the video, comment, tell me what you think, what's coming up for you. I'd love to know what's happening in your world as this week goes on ahead. And thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed that. My name's Sarah, and I'll speak to you all later.